There's Remington and Razzle. There's that pretty baby. Oh, it's hot. Yeah, it's a good thing there's only 2 babies in there because they're taking up 3/4 of the box. Sheesh. And there's Fluffy hiding in there, looking out at me like, what? Stay away from my babies. Don't touch me. And there's those little babies. My little babies. They're very cute. And I just lost their paper clip. Their toothpick. Excuse me while I mess with toothpicks here. It's pretty toasty today, so I'll make sure we got ventilation. Okay, and there's Mr. Bond. It's time to peek and see how things are going in there. Which means, of course, running the hen out. Because Breezy never lets me look. Well, that's okay. We like a fierce mama. Okay, let's see what's happening. Oh, I see 2 babies. Look. She let me look. Look at that. Bigger baby, littler baby. Alrighty then. We'll take it. A free peek. I'm leaving her box. I'm not propping it open all the way, but I'm leaving it open wide enough to get a little ventilation. I'll open it a little wider when the babies are better established. Well, 1, 2. Okay, so there's 3 more eggs in there. I know at least one of them is infertile. So we're waiting for 1 more chick to hatch, and then we throw the rest of the eggs in the, in the freezer. Because we know that 3 babies is the farthest we can go. So, can I show you something terrible? I'm going to start prepping birds for show tonight. I'm leaving on Wednesday, and the show is next Saturday in Washington. So I'm driving all the way up the coast. And one of the birds I'm taking to show is this guy. Can you believe it? This is Vulcan. Somebody bit him hard. And this just happened today. Bled all over the place. It's not good. Fortunately, we have a week to go before the show. So what I'll do is I'm still going to catch him and start working on his mask tonight. But what I will do is leave him alone because the wound is fresh right now. But in a couple of days, when the wound has started to heal up and is well clotted and everything, I will wash his face just with cool water and start clearing him off in hopes of getting him cleaned up enough for show. So, can you believe it? Just my luck. So, birds that I'll be working on tonight, and I'm not going to videotape it tonight because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go. So once I figure out what works and what doesn't, I'll videotape. So, Vulcan right there is coming. His brother is not. This is Dionysus. He's going to stay. Let's see. Peabody down here is going to come. These 2 guys right here, this is Boo Bird and Apollo. They're both going to come. And probably this guy right here, who is Socrates. This is Boo Bird's brother. He's not as big as Boo Bird, but he has a lovely mask on him that's gotten nice and long. So I'm going to take him too. So yeah, we got Vulcan, Boo Bird and Apollo, Socrates, and Peabody out of here. So that's 5 birds out of the boys' flight. And then over on the girls' side, we're going to take... Oh, and the other one is Linnaeus. Where is he? There he is up there. Linnaeus, the dilute. It'll get shown in the rare category. I'm also going to take Linnaeus' sister, who's down here. That is, I'm trying to remember her name. Oh, Narcissa. And I'm going to take Matilda's baby girl here, who is Athena. I wish you'd turn around. There we go. Hi, Athena. You're going to a show. I'm not going to take Hera because although she's big and beautiful, she's too young. She's only 5 months old. So, whereas Narcissa is 7 months old and Athena is 6 to 6.5 months old. So, hopefully they won't be too freaked out. And then the last bird I'm going to take is Haverty out of the big flight cage. So, here's the deal. Well, I'll walk over there and show you Haverty. Couple of different things about the whole show thing. Gotta lock the cage. Can't let anybody get lost. It's a stressful experience for these birds, but there's lots of things that we can do to minimize the stress. And one of them is if you have to catch a bird and hold it down and pluck its mask to make it show worthy, do not wait until you've packed it up into a cage it's not used to, taken it away from all its friends, driven it halfway across the country, and taken it to a showroom full of birds that are not in its flock. Pluck it now. So there is Haverty. He's coming too. So I will probably have to, here's how I see it playing out. I'm a week out. It's Saturday. The show is next Saturday. I'm going to catch these guys and pluck them conservatively. So I'll leave them with a few extra dots, perhaps. Give it the best I can, and then give it a few days to kind of fall back into place and see how I did. I will have to go back and do it a second time. What I plan to do is I'll pluck them tonight when they're sleepy. I have a headlamp and 2 different kinds of tweezers. I wish I could take you, Izod, but I never got a band on you. Anyway, excuse me. So I'll catch them tonight when they're sleepy and in the dark, and I'll pluck them with my headlamp on. And then I will catch them and bring them inside probably Monday and start spraying them regularly. Wednesday, I'm going to put them in 2 different cages. I think I'm taking 8 birds, so I'll put them in 2 different cages, 4 in each cage, so they're not overcrowded, and they're all buddies, and they all know each other, so that should be fine. And Wednesday is travel day. They'll travel with a white sheet over their cages, so they will see daylight, but they won't see anything else. And that white sheet will stay over their cage the entire time we are traveling, because these guys are very visual, and if you let them see everything around them, it freaks them out. So that's, again, a stress reduction tactic. We'll arrive up north Wednesday evening after a day of driving at my house up there. I have a house in Oregon. And I'll take them and put them, in a corner somewhere and leave the sheet on them. And then after they've had a day or 2 of rest, I will again go into the dark and do their final tidying up of their masks before the show. And then we'll drive up to the show on Saturday, do it, and be back to the house again Saturday evening. Again, the whole time they're traveling, they're going to have a white sheet over their cage, and they'll be in there with their buddies and not overcrowded. And then we'll have several days rest at the house before we make the trip back down south again. So that's the plan. Plucking them conservatively, so I'm not pulling a huge amount of feathers, and doing it well before the show so that I'm not stressing them out the day of. Doing the traveling several days before the show so they can rest. Just doing the best I can to make it as little stress as possible, and not taking any birds that are under 6 months old, because I did that last time and it was obviously much more stressful for the babies than for the older birds. Okay. You just landed on me. You are a terrible bird, but you're very cute. Okay, that's it.